I want to start from the beginning of this story. It's late 2020. I just got a divorce. I just had my third child, and I'm working at Amazon in the warehouse to try to keep things afloat. This is where this story starts, not in an organized fashion or in a neat situation, but in a chaotic atmosphere. Somewhere in that chaos, I decided to start my podcast. If you didn't know, I'm Muslim, and I was tired of seeing people talk about Islam and not talk about money in the same exact groups. So I wanted to talk about money and Islam at the same time. The podcast eventually connected me to an investor who actually ends up employing me, and I wasn't aware of it at the time. All I knew was that this podcast was a voice and it was a way to connect to more than just myself. That investor actually helped me move out to Florida, where I would begin to be able to invest in real estate and also be a virtual assistant. You are watching a woman who starts and builds and quits, unfortunately, but who always comes back. In the middle of the chaos, in the middle of the hecticness, I still come back. In 2023, I made a decision that would change the course of where I go. I decided to leave my children in upstate New York with my mother, and I moved down to Florida to start over. The whole purpose was to gain wealth and increase my success as an entrepreneur. But the seed started and was planted way before 2023. Since I was 12, I've been trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Since 2018, I was watching people like Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone. I was looking at podcasts about entrepreneurship and investing. I was there when drop shipping was at an all-time high, when the gurus were online teaching you about how to sell fidget spinners. I watched them all, and I genuinely believed that if I took the right steps and I was put in the right position for the right opportunity, I would be able to get out the rat race. So I left to Florida to start again. Now, the podcast opened the door. I got experience in buying property. I got experience in being a virtual assistant. Real opportunities came from me starting something that I didn't think I was actually ready for. So when I was in Florida, I was there for about less than 5 months. During the time of me being, made a lot of mistakes that I didn't even fully understand. So the real estate deals fell apart and a lot of money was lost. By the time I got to that point, I was sitting in Florida alone, questioning every single decision I've ever made. But what I want you to take from that is that the podcast was real. It connected me to the people that gave me opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to get if I stayed to myself. I don't believe that the mistake was in starting. I believe the mistake was in not knowing enough to fully be able to make the right decisions at the right time. So I ended it off with leaving Florida, feeling like I was going back with my tail between my legs. I had missed my children a lot, and because of that, I decided to go back to upstate New York and leave Florida. During that time, I did what I had to do. I did Uber, I did Amazon FBA. I went to go get my warehouse job back. At one point, I was working like 3 jobs at once. I had lost the opportunity to continue in real estate and to be a virtual assistant. So I had to figure out other ways to still bring cash flow in. This is a time where I also had the opportunity to begin editing videos for people. But at this time, I wasn't pushing myself. I wasn't dedicated to what I was trying to build. So I lost every single one of those opportunities. Again, Amazon FBA, the editing videos, the virtual assistant position, poof, it all went away. I was exhausted and I was hopeless. And then another opportunity came. I packed up my life, my family's life, and we moved to New Mexico, in particularly northern New Mexico. There was a Muslim homesteading community, and I thought that I could find peace, I could find hope, I could find community wrapped in one by going. It had been my dream for a very long time to have a farm, and so homesteading, being in a Muslim community, this was almost everything that I had been secretly dreaming about. So I joined the community and I moved. But the experience turned out horrible. The community was filled with people who wanted to scam my family. The community was filled with lies, treachery. And then to top it all off, I ended up getting into an oil accident. A fire starts in my house when we live off grid on 33 acres, just me and my family. The oil from the fire, I try to remove it, and it splashes all over my face, my arm, my chest, and it causes severe burns. This stops me in my tracks of anything I was doing, which at the time it was trying to continue to get better at content creation and editing videos for people to make that a full-time job. I even tried to get married again in that period, and it all just went horribly wrong. What did work, surprisingly, was for the first time in my 26 years at that time, I ended up losing weight and starting to actually want to stay inside of a health journey. It becomes the beginning of my daily training. But New Mexico wasn't sustainable. I lost my car. I didn't have cash flow coming in. I lived off grid where there was generators and no running water. I couldn't maintain that with me and my children. So I picked up and I moved back to Florida, where at the time my mom was living there. I ended up working at a chicken joint. I ended up going back to Amazon warehouse to work. I do some Uber for some time. All of this to just earn cash flow so that I can get back into building systems for businesses and being able to actually sell those systems. All of this to continue with my entrepreneurship journey. As I'm in Florida, I am in cybersecurity school. I'm working those different jobs. I'm trying to figure out my path, but I'm ignoring my mental health, the trauma that I had already been through, the changes that I already endured. I'm ignoring it. In between that time, I lose my jobs and I'm in a standstill, and I turn to God. I pray more. I read my Quran more. I am more serious about seeking knowledge and being a student of knowledge. But still, I ignored my mental health. I'm still in Florida, living with my mother and having my children with me. And I try to keep filming. I want to continue to document the changes that I'm enduring because I know someone else is going through changes more than me, same as me. It felt like a release from the tension that I had been experiencing throughout this entire time. These videos are proof. The retail beauty business I tried to start once, the social media managing that I did, the digital marketing, working at Amazon, having land deals, the homesteading community that fell apart, my burns, starting over again and again and again. I was lost and I was learning. If you're watching this and you're in the middle of your own chaos, I want you to understand starting is not the problem. It is not a weakness to continue to start new things and to try in your life. Watch this playlist in order if you can. It will make more sense to you. There are 2 series that are inside of it. I have my weekly vlogs, which are what's happening currently And then I have the Before series, where I take you back to what happened before. I don't have it all figured out. I'm still building. I'm still trying. I ended up making more decisions that impacted my life heavily. But this time I have a bit more clarity to where I'm trying to build. And that's who you're watching, a woman who builds in the middle of the chaos.